Psychotherapist Dana Skaggs has a podcast entitled Phoenix and Flame, and one topic she recently discussed was boundaries and social media. Here to share with us more about that extremely timely topic is Dana Skaggs. Good morning.
Good morning.
Boundaries and social media, sometimes the lines blur there quite a bit. Talk to me about what you discussed on your podcast.
Well, essentially, you have roughly three types of groups of people regarding social media. You've got one where they pretty much identify, their whole identity is wrapped up in social media. If you divorced them from social media, it would be like just thrusting them into outer space. I mean, they just would not know who they were or their value or their relationship with other people. It's all composed in social media. You've got another group of people that, they share pictures. It's a way to kind of stay in touch with relatives who are states away, post pictures, know kind of what your friends are up to, where they've been on vacation, that kind of thing. Sometimes people will post things, announcements, because really gone are the days of paper invitations, paper announcements. They put it on social media. So if you want to know what parties are going on, or sometimes even funerals, things like this, they'll put it on social media. Then you've got another group, which I don't know if they even exist anymore, but these are the people that don't even really know what social media is. I mean, they might think TikTok is a clock repair store. I mean, they don't even really, you'd have to go far and wide to find someone like that these days because social media is so prevalent.
Right. And so, we think about that, and I kind of identify with some of the aspects of all three of those groups. There's some social media I don't know a whole lot about, but there's other social media that I deal with every day. And I think a lot of people my age, maybe a little younger, maybe a little older, identify that same way as well.
Yes. I mean, you have different ones. You have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok.
So many.
Yes, there's a lot. And you'll have some. The younger people, too, are very much involved with social media. But so they're looking at it from another angle as opposed to older people. Like I said, that you have the three different kind of groups. But the issue is that why do we need boundaries in social media? Isn't it just a big old fun thing where we're all connected? Why do we need boundaries? Well, because there is bullying that takes place on social media. There's manipulation, there's passive aggressive comments that are made, and it can be severe. It can be, you will see this more with the younger crowd when everything that they're doing is on social media. Their connections with one another, everything is on social media. So if they're missing out on something, everyone else knows about it, but they don't. So they feel like they have to be connected. Well, what happens if one of these young people starts getting bullied? Pretty much the bullying that takes place these days with the young people is on social media. But that's not all of it. I mean, that can be very severe and even drive some people to suicide.
I mean, in extreme cases, that has happened. And that's why I think we all need to sit down and kind of do a checklist on ourselves about what am I going to say? What am I going to do? What am I going to listen to? Who am I going to accept things from? I mean, it's just a whole checklist of things that I think we all need to take into consideration.
Absolutely, 100%. And some things people can do, because even if people are older, sometimes I run into people where they're some kind of friends, I'll put those in quotes, or relatives, or sometimes are making manipulative comments, mean-spirited, kind of passive-aggressive things, like conversations that really need to just take place face-to-face to work something out, but it's not happening. So they'll go on social media and make little snipey comments, about this or that to try to get their passive-aggressive point across. And it's just not, so somebody's wondering, can I post a picture without some snipey comment being made about it? So you think about boundaries. You can just do a total holiday. You can just come off it altogether, which I've seen some people do. For those that don't want to be that disconnected, you might want to unfriend someone, like on Facebook. You can unfriend them. That means they don't have access to anything, and you're not, I don't know if you're their friend or not, but you can unfriend them. They don't know what you're posting. They can't see any of it. You can maybe stay friend with somebody, but you can block their posts from your feed. So if they want to come to your site to see some things, they can, but whatever they're posting, if it tends to be manipulative or passive aggressive, you feel like towards you, you can block that. So it's not going to show up in your feed.
Right. And I think too, a lot of people find the anonymity of being able to make comments without any retribution or any taking responsibility for those comments. That's a boundary you really need to think about, not only for yourself, but what are you going to listen to? What are you going to look at? What are you going to watch? And I think a lot of people just need to set those boundaries for themselves.
Yes, and it's hard though sometimes too, because when you posted something on social media and people are commenting in, you will get people that will come in with that snarky. I mean, you have plenty of pleasant, hey, that was great, love the picture, so glad y'all had a great vacation, and then you'll have that person that'll come in with the comment about, well, looks like you have plenty of time and money to go to the Bahamas, but you don't have time to visit me. Those kinds of, you have to kind of gauge that.
Right.
You can also disengage the comment section on some of the social media platforms where you can post what you want, but you will not allow any comments to be made. So you can make that decision.
Right. And I wanted to know, you got your podcast. You're going to be doing some things coming up here in the future. Share that with us real quick about what you're going to be doing in the future with your
Sure.
podcast.
I'm going to be trying to do a series of interviews called "You're Not Alone," because people run into situations, and I hear it in my practice, where they feel like they're going through something hard, but they feel like they're the only one, and they don't know who they can talk to. Sometimes they'll say, well, this has happened to me, and they're just met with crickets because people don't know how to respond to what they're saying. I'm hoping that one of my first interviews is going to be with a guest whose husband committed suicide. And so she's going to have a chance to tell her story about that. And if there's anyone else out there who's gone through that, they can listen and say, gosh, I know what that feels like. I'm not the only one.
All right. Dana Skaggs, thank you so much for coming by.
Good.
Some difficult subjects to talk about, but a conversation we need to have. All right. PhoenixandFlame.com for more information right there on the screen.